So we're just getting started. We're going to install, this is the Perun Moto rear rack, which just awesome versatility. You can see it sits flush with the top of the seat on the height. So it's not really in the way, and you can see it's got tons of tie down points. It's set up to be able to attach some different top cases like Yeevee and stuff. It's also set up for the Rotopax mounts. So just, yeah, very versatile. You know, we got our bags tied on here. Yeah, this was so far, you know, as far as versatility and performance, this was the best rack I could find. These are imported. You have to get them sent from Serbia. A guy named Nikola over there so far has been great to work with. Got these to me in less than a week. And so we're putting Cody's on. So he's removing these back bolts. These are going to be a T30 bit to remove these on both sides. And then we're going to remove these front ones as well, both sides. And this back one, these are 6mm Allen heads for removal. And then the install is going to be different. So we'll go over that here just in a minute. Cody's removing the existing hardware, and
with the wrong tool though,
but and then we'll get started on showing you installing. So I'm gonna just make sure all your hardware's in order. I went ahead and put washers on these bigger bolts. I didn't here because they go on the nut side on the small ones, and then we have 5 spacers. 3 of them are going to be the same, and then there's 2 bigger ones, 2 longer spacers. And then we got our rack and our brackets. The first thing we're going to do is make a mess with some blue thread lock and put a drop on the ends. It needs to be towards the ends of the threads of each of these. So then Cody's going to pull this shortest of the T40 bolts.
The shortest.
That's the shortest one. You'll see it's a little shorter than the other 2.
Yeah.
He's going to stick it through this V bracket here.
And then you're going to grab
bracket, and then grab one of the short spacers. Okay.
And you're going to place it like this.
Yep, with the short
out.
Yep, that short collar. You see that short collar there is facing down there. And we're just going to hand thread that in here. You may need a tool. Just make sure your threads are clean. It should go in relatively easy. You might need a little help with the tool. Again, this is a T40. Snug that up. For now, it's not super tight yet. We're going to have to tighten it up, but first we're going to align things. We'll get back to that here in just a minute. So next, Cody's taken a T40 and stuck in the front of one of the brackets and a short spacer in the front. And then the smaller, long T30 bolt with the long spacer for the back side of the bracket. And Cody's gonna hand tighten those in. And that's just hand tight for now again. And it's gonna be the same thing, both sides, just like that. So there's a little bit of wiggle.
You still got wiggle.
Yeah.
You got wiggle. So then,
and then he'll do the other side, and then we'll get to the rack. Okay, so Cody's got the other side on. Again, just hand tight. There's a little wiggle there, and
look at that. Lined up perfect. We're ready to take this off.
Hang up. So make sure that your bolts here line up with the bracket and go through the holes in the bracket. Okay, once you know everything's lined up, go ahead and pull that bracket back off. Take your T40. Tighten this up. This needs to torque up without moving this. That neighborhood, we use good and tight specs. So consider the size of the bolt and the type of the bolt and stuff for how tight they go.
It's too bad you don't have to line up. Oh, look at that. Look, Carl.
Yeah,
I can still move it. I can still move it.
Is it torqued enough then? Do we need to torque it a little more?
Let me tighten it a little bit.
Because, yeah. That's the problem with the instructions you'll find online for this is they say pre-assemble all this, but then there's no way to get in and torque this down right here. And that needs to be torqued down. There's not there's not a lock washer on it. I mean, maybe you could add one, but we just used a little bit of blue thread locker, as we showed you earlier. So Cody's torquing this up. I don't think it's moved this time. So he's being very careful to hold it in place. So he's got it torqued.
It's almost like doctor
down
status
good.
here. Like,
Yeah.
I need to have a doctor degree in mechanics or something. Now you go, and you just tighten these bolts up, and then you go and tighten these up. Because you don't want to tighten these up, then tighten these up, because you're going to put stress on this and on this, because it's going to fold.
You got to put washers on and nuts from underneath. So it's just going to take a few minutes more than following the instructions online. Again, if you have a tool, a T40 bit that will fit through this tiny hole here, go ahead and follow the online instructions. You'll be fine. But I bet you don't.
I bet you don't. Look at that. This one.
Yeah, the back one is easy.
All right, I did 3. You do 3. No, I'm just kidding.
And then
I'm gonna do the 3 because I'm fast.
So Cody's just putting them on by hand, and then we'll go through and tighten them all up. So now Cody's going back around with a 10mm wrench and a 4mm Allen key. I have a longer Allen key to help torque those, but these don't need to be high torque. Need a longer one to make it easier, but don't over torque these.
Yeah, so, or strip them out like I almost just did.
Yeah, these do not have a high torque rating, so these are small screws.
Oh, I see what I did. Messed up your Allen key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cody's messing up my tools. Let's get him the better tool here. So somewhere in here I have a 4. He's just going around tightening all these up. These do not require any thread locker because they have the lock nuts. Yep.
I dropped the tool.
Yeah, he did drop the tool.
Right.
So after tightening all these, again, 4mm top, 4mm Allen, bottom is a 10mm wrench or a socket.
Ooh.
So then we're going to tighten up the side mounts now that the rack's all assembled and tight. And that's going to be a T40 Torx bit on the front and a T30 Torx bit at the rear. And of course your rear ones, because they're smaller, are not going to torque as hard as the front ones. But, you know,
do you want this screw?
You can look the specs up online on those if you want, but we're content with the good and tight standard, which again varies depending on the bolt size. So that's all on there, nice and snug. Rack's done. So that's it for the Perun Moto tail rack. Again, you can see lots of places for straps, different mounting systems on here. I mean, this is a pretty well thought out and designed rack overall, with the exception of this installation of this one bolt. And if you do have a tool that fits through here, I will warn you, when you go to pre-assemble, stick this bolt through this bracket first before you mount it, because it won't fit in here otherwise, and then you'll be taking it back apart. That's not in their instructions online. Guess how I found that out.
He just didn't have a real mechanic with him.
Seen in some of our videos, we at least pretend to know how to ride off-road. Not, and we have fun doing it regardless of how good we are. But because this is so sleek, it's not real wide, but it's wide enough that you can attach a lot to it. And just very versatile, well thought out rack. Big props to Perun Moto and Nicola for giving us a rack that's just well thought out overall. If in a future iteration, if he can figure this out, if that means drilling this out, which this hole out, I know that's probably there for some type of specific mounting system. That's why we haven't drilled them out. We might in the future, but that's dealing with this was the only dilemma we ran into, this bolt on the center bracket. And as we showed you, that's not too difficult to overcome. It just takes a few minutes installing installing it the way we showed you instead of pre-assembling it like they tell you. That's really it. We appreciate you guys watching, appreciate the support, and you know, like and subscribe so somebody besides YouTube benefits from these videos. But either way, you know, we're glad to help you guys out. So, and we hope you guys enjoy the videos as much as we do, and hope you guys enjoy riding as much as we do.